Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The topic of my speech today is Dream for Ourselves. In the first day of my oral English course, our teacher asked us to think about what we will be doing 10 years from now. Go to America and marry an American girl, a guy student said. He thought it might be one of the best ways to learn English well. I may be raising up my children with some freelance work to boot, uttered one of my roommates, who was unanimously voted by us to be our Miss Angel in the house. What about you, Richard? Our teacher turned to the walking dictionary of our class. I may be taking up your position and busy being a respected professor. The whole class roared with laughter. Our teacher laughed too. What beautiful dreams we used to have. But now, while everybody is busy doing a double major, stuffing their heads with straight A's, internships, exchange programs, the once vigorous and diversified voices have thinned into one. Be the one that best suits the need of the job market. Ladies and gentlemen, it is said that dreams should be relevant to reality. But now, aren't we college students too much bound by this reality? If dreams are simply reality shows, can they still be called dreams? A couple of weeks ago, I read the story of Ma Yan, who had to drop out of school because of poverty. She said she wanted to go to school so that her family could live a better life. However, growing up impressed by Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream talk and the Chinese proverb that everyone is born to be somebody, my classmates and I may think that we are less driven than this starving little girl. But aren't we making a difference if we're not being true to ourselves? Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Jobs, CEO of Apple Computer, once said, "Our time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life." I think it's especially true with us 20-somethings, who are sort of feeling disoriented in face of dream and reality. The other night, my roommate complained to me what little memory she would have for her college days. True, today's dream might become tomorrow's reality and the day after tomorrow's memory. But if we're not dreaming for ourselves, where can the memory come from? And plus, if we can't even master our own dreams, how can we master the future of our society? Ladies and gentlemen, with the advances in science and technology, we are faced with more of a dilemma than ever. The controversy over surrogate mothers, the right way to treat animals, the pros and cons of the online pop culture. There might never be definite answers to these questions, but how we judge and envision them to be will decide the future of us all. Luckily, I have found my dream, and that's just to be a journalist. To be honest with you, it has something to do with Ma Yan, whose story was reported by a French journalist in the first place. He's the one that bridged Ma Yan's reality and her dream. I also want to be a bridge of this kind. And with this dream in mind, I know that I'll have not only a future ahead, but also a precious memory behind. This is the end of my speech. Thank you very much.
Hi, contestant number 22. Strict laws are important for the security of our society, but there are many cases of injustice based on rigid laws. Should laws be fixed or flexible? Please explain your views with examples.
Thank you very much. Well, actually, very accidentally, this morning when we were sort of imprisoned in that preparing room, actually, we had a fierce debate over law. And now I would like to share some of my thoughts with you on whether we should adopt flexible laws or fixed laws. Well, first of all, I admit that there are some cases of injustice in our society. For example, last year, there was a famous case of Wang Bingyu, which aroused a great controversy in society. Actually, Wang Bingyu was a migrant worker who failed for several times to get his payment from his boss. And obviously that boss treated him very badly. He didn't send him to hospital when he was ill, and he didn't treat him with very good food, and also made him do extra work without any extra money. And out of rage, Wang killed several people in charge out of a great rage. And that case aroused a great controversy in society. Actually, when I read the story, I did show some sympathy for that guy, because I think it was the fault of the boss in the first place. It was him that didn't pay him the payment that he deserved. So I feel quite sympathetic for him. But as a law minor, I do think that we should adopt some fixed laws. And I have 3 reasons. First of all, speaking of the nature of law, I think definiteness and the forcefulness are the 2 features that differentiate law from other fields, perhaps like moral absolutes and social standards. For example, when 2 drivers, they quarrel on the street, very often they would say, go to the court and settle that dispute. So we can say that actually law plays that final say. It has a final say in deciding these disputes. And secondly, I do think that law serves as a role of warning to the rest of the society. It helps others to realize the possible consequences that they may take for their actions. If the law is not definite, if the law is not fixed, then some speculists, they may take the advantage. They may think that they can escape law. So that is something not very good. And thirdly, about the enforcement of law. Without a fixed law, judges will be very perplexed when applying laws. And the enforcement department will also feel perplexed too. So these are 3 reasons why I think we should adopt fixed laws. Thank you very much.
Contestant number 22, thank you for your speeches. You said it is important to find one's own dream and not to live someone else's life.
Yeah.
But I think it will be quite easy to find many people who think they will be happier and feel more accomplished if they could play basketball as well as Yao Ming and run as fast as Liu Xiang. So why do you think living somebody else's life is not always as good as pursuing your own dream?
Well, thank you very much. Well, I'm not saying that we shouldn't live someone else's life, but we should have a clear perception of what we really want. If what we really want is similar to others' life, of course we should follow their examples. And of course, their experience and some of their talents or good examples may enlighten us and may sort of sweep some obstacles in front of us. That would be something very good. But the point is that you have to have a clear perception of what you want, and that's the most important. Thank you very much.
Contestant number 22, thank you very much for your speeches. In one of your speeches, you talk about law and justice. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Do you think that lawyers and judges are always impartial?
Lawyers and judges are always impartial. Well, I think actually this is the goal that we should pursue, because take judges, for example, they actually serve as the middle ground between government and people, or between the public power and private power. So I think if they tip toward one side, the whole balance of the society will be disturbed. And that obviously would be something not very good. And as the lawyers, I think justice is also an important obligation for them, because they have to be responsible to their clients, but also at the same time, I think as a responsible lawyer, he or she should be responsible for society. Thank you very much.
Thank you, contestant number 22. in your prepared speech, you talked about the memories of the college years that your roommate might have. Can you tell us what you hope will be your best memories of your college years?
Well, thank you very much. Actually, I think that the best memory for my college life is that I can really do what I like in college life. For example, nowadays we know that the studying pressure is very hard, very tight on students. But at the same time, I still think that we should do something that we like. For example, during my sophomore year, though the pressure of the academic pressure is very great, but at that time I also choose to become a member of an international broadcasting station. And I think that I really enjoyed a lot of fun there because I want to be a journalist. I want to do something in relation to journalism. So I choose this very good opportunity to become a member of that corporation, not corporate, that organization. So I think that I really followed my heart in my college life. And that is the best memory that I can imagine for myself. Thank you very much.